The forest was rather quiet as Anna and her two best friends, John and Kate, began their hiking trip in the mountains near the border of Montana and Wyoming. The three of them had been planning this trip for months, and they were excited to finally hit the trail. As they walked, Anna couldn't help but admire the beauty of the forest. The lush green foliage that surrounded them was breathtaking, and the smell of pine needles filled the air. The sun was shining bright, and it was the perfect day to be out in nature. After several hours of hiking, they stopped for a quick lunch break by a small stream. They had packed sandwiches, fruit, and water, so they were ready to enjoy a nice meal in the great outdoors. As they ate, they chatted and laughed, taking in the peaceful surroundings. Suddenly, Kate pointed to something in the distance. "What's that?" she asked, squinting her eyes. Anna and John followed her gaze and saw a figure moving behind some trees. "I don't know," John said, his hand inching towards his pocket knife. "Maybe it's just a bear." The three of them exchanged worried looks as they packed up their things and continued on the trail, keeping a watchful eye on their surroundings. The forest grew thicker as they walked deeper into the mountains. The trees were taller, and the sound of the stream grew fainter. The quiet was eerie, and they all felt a sense of unease. As they rounded a bend in the trail, they heard a rustling in the bushes. Anna froze, her heart pounding in her chest. John and Kate also stopped, their eyes scanning the area. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the bushes. Anna's blood ran cold as she saw what looked like a large wolf. It stood on its hind legs, its eyes glowing in the dark. "Run!" John yelled, grabbing Anna's hand and pulling her along. The three of them sprinted down the trail, their hearts racing with fear. They could hear the wolf creature close behind them, its growls echoing in the silence. After what felt like hours of running, Anna, John, and Kate finally reached their campsite. They quickly set up a fire and barricaded themselves in their tents, hoping the creature would leave them alone. As Anna lay in her tent, shivering with fear, she couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't safe. She realized that they had no idea what this creature was or how to defend themselves against it. John and Kate tried to assure her that everything would be okay, but they were all scared out of their minds. Suddenly, they heard a noise outside. They looked at each other, their eyes wide with terror. Anna slowly unzipped the tent flap and peered outside. She saw the creature from earlier, now standing just a few feet away from their campsite. As it approached them, it transformed into a shape that Anna could hardly believe. The large wolf became a young woman, clothed in animal skins and clutching a sharp knife. Anna gasped in horror as she realized that they were being attacked by a Skinwalker, a witch with the power to transform into any animal it desired. The Skinwalker lashed out at John, and he barely managed to dodge its attack. He grabbed his pocket knife and lunged at the Skinwalker, but it was too quick. The Skinwalker transformed back into a wolf and pounced on him, its sharp teeth sinking into his flesh. Anna and Kate screamed in terror as they saw John being attacked right before their eyes. Anna and Kate quickly grabbed their own knives and tried to fight off the creature. They managed to distract it long enough for John to escape, but they knew they couldn't defeat a Skinwalker on their own. They decided to run back to civilization as fast as they could. They packed up their campsite, leaving everything behind, and took off down the trail with the Skinwalker close behind them. As they ran, they heard footsteps behind them, and they knew the creature was still following them. They had no idea how they were going to survive, but they were determined to make it to safety. Finally, they emerged from the forest and saw a ranger station in the distance. They sprinted towards it, screaming for help. The Skinwalker pursued them all the way to the ranger station, but it stopped just outside the door. It stood there for a few minutes, watching them, before it finally disappeared into the forest. The ranger emerged from the station, and the three hikers told her everything that had happened. She listened sympathetically, but the ranger didn't believe them on what exactly attacked John. From that day on, Anna, John, and Kate never ventured too far, and they would certainly never stop spreading their story to others.